Hi everyone, this is Dr. Weideman and I'll be your professor for this course. Let's explore the My Courses course first. So when you first come into the course, you'll be on the course homepage and you'll have a number of options from the top toolbar. We're going to start on Course Home, which is right here. On the left-hand side, there'll be news items. During the week, I'll post different news items with reminders. On the right-hand side, the calendar items will show up. All of the due dates have been loaded into the calendar. In just a minute, we'll come back out here. Below the news area, you have SPC resources, and then we're going to use this link in order for you to register in the My Stat Lab course. Let's go back up to the table of contents, and let's click on Course Content. And this is where your content folders are going to be located. And we're going to take a look at the top of this, you've got a link to the syllabus. Right here is your Begin Here module, which is your most important module for the first week of the course. And you want to go in here and you want to take a look in the introduction. There's a link to this video that you're watching. There's also a handout. There's a link to my faculty page, which lists my office location and my office hours. The syllabus is also linked here along with the syllabus quiz, which is required for you to finish in order to get access to the remaining weekly modules. If you notice right now, there's only one module here, week 1, and there's a whole bunch of other modules for the rest of the course. So you want to make sure you get that syllabus quiz done during week 1. And then you've got here a link to the assignment schedule. You've also got a link to this assignment schedule is quite nice. You might want to print it out because it lists all the course assignments, their location in the weekly folder, and then also the due date. So that might be helpful for you to print out and keep close to your computer so you can make sure you keep track of all the due dates. Also in this module, you'll see materials about the required software for the course. If you scroll down a little bit further, you've got the hardware and software requirements here. And so we're going to be using My Stat Lab again. There's a handout here and a short video below to show you how to get registered. In this location, you'll also find information about Excel, the Excel Data Analysis Toolpack add-in, which is required, and then also the Excel Stat program, which you would have gotten in your bundle. You would have gotten the access code for that, and you'll click on here, and there's a link there where you go to register your code and download the software. And you do have access to another statistical software package in My Stat Lab called StatCrunch, which you may want to try out. It doesn't do all the problems that we're going to do in the course, but you may want to take a look at it. If you took statistics STA 2023, some of the instructors at the college use this program in that course. But I'm going to stress for you in this course to use Excel because you really are going to use Excel in your other courses in your program. So let's take a look at week 1. And all the modules are set up pretty much the same way. There's a little summary of what we're going to cover, the action items for the week. You always have a discussion topic each week. I've got chapter notes loaded in here for you. You've got PowerPoints available to you. In the textbook, they do examples with Excel files, and these are located here. If you want to go ahead and try to watch, figure out the calculations along with the textbook, those are located here. Also, your assignments are going to be due mostly on Monday nights. However, your Excel projects, which start in week 2, will be due on the Wednesday of the week following. And again, that's listed in that weekly schedule that you saw there. So we go back up to the top toolbar and click on Calendar. Again, I've loaded all the due dates into the calendar. So if you click on the month option and we go up here, we see class begins on the 10th. You've got one little orientation to My Math Lab due on the 12th. And then again, there's assignments due the following week. On Mondays, most of your assignments will be due, but your Excel projects are going to be due on Wednesday. And there'll be 2 of those each week in the second week. Now this is really important, and I'm going to go over and take a look at the handout for this section here, the handout introducing it to the course. You have to make sure you purchase the Access Kit that came in your bundle, and it will also have the Excel Stat access code. And what you're going to do, so in our My Math Lab, in our My Courses course rather, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the course homepage, and you're going to go below that news item all the way down on the left-hand side, and you're going to see what we call the Pearson widget. And the first time you click on it, it's going to ask you to accept the user agreement, and then on the next screen, it'll ask you to log in with your username and password if you used Pearson before, and if not, you'll create one. And then on the next screen, you're going to have a couple of options you'll see here. You can enter the access code that came with your bundle that you purchased for the course. You can buy an access code, and you only need to buy the 18-week option. Or you can also get temporary access without paying for 14 days. You will have to buy the access code, of course, at some point during those 14 days. But you have 3 options there. So there's no reason not to get registered during the first week of the course, because even if you're waiting for your code to come, or your bundle with your book and so forth, or you're waiting for financial aid, you can still create that temporary access. Okay, so once you've registered, then you're going to use this orange bar up top here. Click on it, and it will take you to our My Stat Lab course. And the home page here is a calendar, and you can see that the different items that are have due dates coming up will be shown here on the calendar, and you can actually click on it and see what they are, and they'll tell you actually if you've already done it, what your score is, or if you haven't done it yet, remind you that it's due. So let's take a look at the toolbar on the left-hand side. So you can get to the ebook. I know most of you will have purchased a print book, but you can also get to the e-text here. And so, for instance, if I went to chapter 2, actually, I have to go back for a second. Your e-text here is right here. This is the entire e-text for the whole book, for the whole e-text rather. And then if you go in chapter by chapter, you can get access to your homework, your tests and quizzes, and then some other items from the chapter if you want to do that. And then if you go back to that toolbar, top toolbar there, if you click on assignments, these are all the assignments that you have to do in the My Stat Lab course, and they're organized, of course, by date. And let's just pick one because I want to give you an idea of what they look like if you haven't used Pearson before. So when you're in Pearson, you have a navigation bar here, which you can close down to give yourself more space in the window. This option right here lets you make the window bigger and smaller on the top or the bottom, depending on some of the problems have graphs and so forth. Down here, you have Get More Help. And if you click on that, you have Help Me Solve It, which will solve this problem. Now, remember, you only get 3 attempts. If you use Help Me Solve It, that counts as an attempt. View an Example will solve a similar problem. Textbook will take you to the section of the textbook where this concept is covered. StatCrunch would take you to that StatCrunch program I mentioned before. And Tech Help will take you to videos for using Excel. And then Ask My Instructor would create an email that will come to me with this exact problem. And I want you to tell me what you're having trouble with so I can answer you and give you help. I'm not going to answer a question that just says, I don't get this. I want to see you try the problem. Tell me what you tried. What kind of answer you got. I used Excel and I put these numbers in, and I will answer you with an email. Now remember, on the homework, you have 3 attempts per problem. The best score is used, obviously. You can work on the homework after the due date if you worked on it before the due date, but again, the 3 attempts per question still apply. For the Excel projects, which are also linked on that assignment page, you get 2 attempts. And after you submit your first attempt, you'll get very detailed feedback about your what you submitted, whether you got all the points or not, and if you didn't get the points, where you need to make some corrections, which you can then do before you submit it again. And let's see if there's anything else to go over. I think we pretty much covered everything. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me, and I hope we have a great semester, and I look forward to working with you this fall.